Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited, as we are here on the 28th of May, 2019, to talk about tonight's Smackdown Live. Tonight's Smackdown Live did come to us from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I'm not going to say it was as bad as last night's Monday Night Raw, but I didn't think it was, a level above. I didn't think it was like leaps and bounds better than last night's SmackDown, or last night's Raw, I mean. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. And you can also text in your thoughts to 510-906-1341. I will put the text number on the screen. Once we do commence with phone call, or once we do commence with the review, we will be taking phone calls. Let's see here. So, as we look at it, like I said, SmackDown was an okay show. Nothing that I would say was great. I wouldn't say that, oh my God, this show was so much better than Raw, because it wasn't so much better than Raw. It was just maybe a little bit better than Raw last night. And Raw was a bad, bad show. I'm going to tell you that right now. Nobody that I heard from liked last night's Raw at all. So, yeah, let me know what you guys thought. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the live chat if you're here live. Let me know in the text messages if you're also watching live. 510-906-1341. So, Kevin Owens kicked off tonight's SmackDown Live. Well, first off, there was like a short recap of the Ziggler stuff from last week. But Kevin Owens kicked off tonight's SmackDown Live. Kevin Owens came out, and he said that he was planning on opening up the show with the Kevin Owens show. But instead, he didn't think the people here in Tulsa, Oklahoma deserved that. So he just wants to look forward to defeating Kofi Kingston right now. Owens claimed that he's not the one that attacked Big E backstage last week. He said he's a good person, and he would never do something like that. He pointed out that Big E sweats profusely. So he probably slipped or something. It wasn't his fault. This would bring out the WWE champion, Kofi Kingston. Owens also said that he promised to soften Kingston up for Dolph Ziggler at Super Showdown, so that way it would make it easier for Ziggler to win the title, and then Ziggler can give him a title shot since he did, soften up the champion. Kofi came down, he came out selling his knee and he was still throwing pancakes. Kingston said that he knows Owens attacked Big E last week. Kingston said Owens is not a good person. He said, you like to lie. You lied about wanting to join the New Day, and you're lying about what you did to Big E. So then we did get the match. Kofi Kingston versus Kevin Owens. Kingston had the early advantage. Owens took over before the commercial break, though. Owens was firmly in control and hit a senton on the floor. He slowed down the pace with a chin lock. Kingston fought back, but Owens cut him off with the clothesline. Kingston sent Owens to the floor and followed it up with a dive. Owens attempted a stunner, but Kingston countered with a SOS for a near fall. Kingston then leaped up to the top turnbuckle, but Owens shoved him to the floor. Kingston went over the ring post and crashed hard on the floor. After a commercial break, we saw Owens in the ring as he had Kingston in a chin lock yet again. He gave Kingston a slingshot over the top rope. Kingston held on, though, and tried to skin the cat. Owens rocked him with a super kick and hit a frog splash off of the apron. Owens then tried to win by count out, but Kingston beat the 10 count. Owens then hit a frog splash in the ring, only getting to 2. Owens then went back up to the top rope, but Kingston cut him off. They fought on the top turnbuckle for a little while. Owens then rocked Kingston with the headbutt, and he fell off. Owens hit a swanton bomb for a very, very close 2. Owens then attempted a pop-up powerbomb, but Kingston hit the Trouble in Paradise for the victory. So let me go to the back, and we see Shane McMahon as he meets with Drew McIntyre and Elias. A graphic aired promoting Shane McMahon Appreciation Night later in the show. So 24/7 champion R-Truth was backstage with Carmela. Truth complained about having to defend the title at all times. They hid in a room. Drake Maverick, it was like a laundry room. Drake Maverick walked by, put one of his wanted posters on the door. Then R-Truth ran back out. Kayla Braxton then interviewed the SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions Daniel Bryan and Rowan in the ring. She revealed that they requested this time to reissue their mission statement. Bryan called the SmackDown Tag Team division a joke. Bryan said Rowan has a joke. Rowan then made a knock-knock joke. Bryan and Rowan reacted to the punchline. It was pretty good. The reaction was pretty good. Bryan said, the people of Oklahoma are the worst. They're the leaders in fracking and oil drilling, which is why they have a lot of, what did he call it? He said they have a lot of earthquakes here in Oklahoma. He said that his mission statement is to save the planet, and they're going to be the planet's SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Braxton pointed out that they might need to think a little more highly of this division because there's a tag team that wants a shot at them. Then Heavy Machinery would come out. Heavy Machinery would come down to the ring, and Tucker said that they respect Bryan and Rowan, but it's time to get to business. They want a shot at the tag team titles right now. They said that no more goofing around, no more jokes for them. They're going to be serious. And as he's saying they're going to be serious, Otis was dry humping the air, basically. He was air humping. As Tucker's saying, no more joking and goofing around for us. We're going to be more serious. Bryan accepted the challenge and said, but it will not happen here in Oklahoma. We then go backstage with Sonya Deville and Manny Rose. We're looking at the cover of Muscle and Fitness Hers with Mandy Rose on the cover. Deville and Rose were walking around backstage with stacks of the magazine, handing them out backstage. The Iconics, they gave some to them. Ember Moon. Moon was reading Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Deville and Rose spoiled the ending of the book for her. We then got Mandy Rose versus Carmela. They showed Rose's Muscle and Fitness cover on the big screen. The commentators discussed the article. Deville had a stack of magazines with her at ringside. Rose took over and got an early advantage and slowed down the pace with a chin lock. Rose rocked Carmella with a knee for a close near fall. Carmella then fought back and hit a Bronco Buster for a 2. Deville jumped up onto the apron and caused a distraction. Carmella attempted a super kick, but Rose ducked and rolled her up for the victory. So in the back, you see Jinder Mahal, and he actually jumps the 24/7 champion R-Truth, but only got a near fall. Truth fought back and sent Mahal out the door. Truth ran off and hid in a random photo booth. There was no explanation of why there was a photo booth backstage, though. A whole bunch of guys ran by the booth. Truth then bumped into Drake Maverick. They kind of like, Maverick was like, it's you, I finally found you, and then he runs off. So then we get Shane McMahon Appreciation Night. It was Shane McMahon, Drew McIntyre, and Elias all making their way down to the ring. McMahon said that he was hesitant when his good friend McIntyre suggested this celebration for him tonight. McMahon said that he doesn't need a trophy or an appreciation night. McMahon said that he's a humble man that can come back to run a family business. He's all about putting smiles on the fans' faces. He showed a video that guarantees he would send the fans home smiling. Video recap McMahon's career. After the video, McMahon praised the production crew and even Kevin Dunn. He told the fans not to boo Kevin Dunn. McMahon promised to beat Roman Reigns at Super Showdown and to beat respect into him. Elias then praised McMahon and began singing a song about McMahon in Oklahoma. Suddenly, out of nowhere, 24/7 champion R-Truth ran into the ring from the crowd, and Drake Maverick was right behind him. Truth then turned around and realized it was just Maverick, not anybody else chasing him. Truth attacked Maverick and pinned him. McMahon, McIntyre, and Elias just stood there and watched. The heels then jumped Truth and beat him down. McIntyre hit him with a Claymore kick, and Elias pinned Truth to become the new WWE 24/7 champion. McMahon was still mad that Truth interrupted his appreciation night. He then announced that McIntyre and Elias were going to team up tonight to take on the team of R-Truth and Roman Reigns. McMahon then said, during this match, though, 24/7 rules do not count, so Elias can focus on the match and don't have to worry about people running down and attacking him during the match. So backstage, Kayla Braxton interviewed Lacey Evans and Charlotte Flair together. Evans and Flair were having a little tea time, as Charlotte called it. They were going to, quote-unquote, spill the tea. They complained about the Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch and the SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley. Evans then promised that she would defeat Bayley later on tonight, which was actually the next match on the card. Charlotte Flair joined in on commentary. Evans had an early advantage here against Bayley. She tried to roll up Bayley at one point, but Bayley rolled through and caught her with the knee. After a commercial break, Evans was firmly in control. Evans stomped on Bayley, but Bayley fought back. Bayley set Evans to the floor and hit the sliding drop kick. They ended up near the announce booth. Flair got up as a downed Bayley was laying there. She's like, and the announcers were like, said something about don't get involved. And Corey's like, she's just checking on Bayley. She's just getting a little close. And Charlotte goes, yeah, that's all I'm doing. I'm just trying to get a little closer to the action. Flair then distracted the referee at one point, but Evans rolled up Bayley. But Bayley reversed it and countered into a roll-up of her own, pinning Lacey Evans in the middle of the ring. So Bayley defeats Lacey Evans. So after the match, Charlotte was in the ring. And as the focus was on Bayley with the cameras, all of a sudden it cuts back really quick and Lacey Evans attacks Charlotte from behind. But Charlotte got the best of Lacey Evans, rocked her with a big boot, and was like, you really want to mess with the queen? You don't know who you're messing with. So we go backstage, and we see Andrade and Zelina Vega discussing his upcoming match with Intercontinental Champion Finn Balor. Played a video from last week where doctors apparently told Finn Balor that he took too much punishment in Money in the Bank and couldn't compete last week. Andrade actually cut a pretty good promo in English here. Basically, he was like, Finn, you were not just powerbombed on a ladder. You were powerbombed by me on a ladder, and I am going to take your championship at Super Showdown. He actually was really good here. It's not like in the past where he stumbled on his words, or in the past when he just didn't really connect with what he was trying to say. But if it sounded really believable, what he was trying to say in English. I don't know if that's maybe WWE giving him English lessons or just Charlotte teaching him more English. I don't know. So let me get the same Firefly Funhouse video from last week. Or from last night, I mean. Then we go to the main event. Actually, I think I missed the Alistair Black promo. I know there was one of those Alistair Black promos tonight. But those Alistair Black promos, to me, are kind of like just nothings. They don't really resonate with me so much. I forget exactly where that was on the card or on the show. But I know that we did see Alistair Black at one point. But it was just like, this doesn't really resonate with me too much. So we got our main event, Roman Reigns and Truth taking on Mcintyre and Elias. Truth came down to the ring slowly as he was selling his injuries from earlier in the night. Mcintyre and Elias jumped Truth from behind as Reigns was already in the ring. Reigns ran up the ramp and made the save, fighting off the heels. Reigns was in control until McMahon caused a distraction. The heels isolated Reigns on their side of the ring. Reigns fought back in his Samoan drop. Truth then tagged in, and the heels quickly took over. McIntyre gave Truth a tilt-a-whirl slam on the apron. After a commercial break, Truth fought back a little bit, but Elias cut him off with a clothesline. The heels tried a double-team move on Truth, but he fought back. Reigns got the hot tag and ran wild as only Roman Reigns can. He rocked Elias with a clothesline in the corner. Reigns then hit a Superman punch on McIntyre and the drive-by on Elias. McIntyre attacked Reigns from behind on the floor, though. Reigns grabbed McMahon. McIntyre tried to hit a Claymore kick, but Reigns moved. McIntyre crashed into the announce table here. Back in the ring, Reigns then hit a big spear on Elias for the victory. McMahon and McIntyre were kind of retreating up the ramp. This then allowed Reigns to hit a second spear on Elias. The commentators noted that the match is over, 24/7 rules are back in play, and Roman Reigns was the best friend. He was the best of friends for R-Truth because he hit the spear on Elias, but he allowed R-Truth to pin Elias and win back the 24/7 championship. So here's my question. Is that Roman Reigns being a good friend and a good partner and a good ally to R-Truth, letting him win the title? Or is that Roman Reigns just wanting to spear Elias and saying, I don't give a fuck about that belt? That's what I want to know. What is that supposed to tell us? That he doesn't care about the belt? Or that Truth cares about the belt so much and Roman knows that he allowed Truth to win the title? Well, that's how SmackDown went off the air. that was the end of tonight's SmackDown Live. Yeah, not a bad show. Nothing to write home about, though. Nothing to be like, oh, man, you really got to check this segment out. No. So, we'll see how it all does go down. We'll see how it all plays out. We've got one more episode of SmackDown, one more episode of Raw before we go to Saudi Arabia for a Super Showdown week from this Friday. And now, I want to hear from you guys. Got a couple text messages here in the bin, but I want to hear you guys if you want to call in and let me know what you thought. You can call in at 559-475-8473. As we wait for some calls to come in, we're going to look at the text messages. This person here says, hey Tim, what was just some of your favorite moments of Starcast? My favorite moments of Starcast were probably when Nick and I walked around and just talked to fans and stuff. I did actually interact and talk with Brian Cage. We have a mutual friend that he knows through bodybuilding and that I grew up with. So that was pretty cool to talk about with Brian Cage. And then we sat in a little bit on the Taz show, and we did go to the after party. Me and Nick are going to talk about all this on tomorrow's Wednesday show. We're going to recap all of our thoughts from going to Starcast and me at Double or Nothing. And trust me, we're going to talk all about that tomorrow night on the Wednesday show. Plus, we'll give our NXT predictions. So if you guys want to know anything about, our Vegas trip, we'll talk about it tomorrow. This person here says, do you think Dolph Ziggler will become WWE champion? Probably not. And this person says, any updates on Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan? No. Nothing. But let's take a call. Caller, on the air. What's going on?
Hey, hi, Tim. I just watched SmackDown. My rating for it is 3.5 out of 10. And honestly, this whole 24/7 title confuses me. So I'm wondering. I know it's a 24/7 title, but can they use hardcore stipulations to it too, or no?
You mean can they use weapons?
Yeah, is it just a 24/7 title, or is it a false count anywhere where no disqualification thing? Where
false count anywhere, and I assume there's no disqualification. They never stated either way, but Mick Foley did state, and as we have seen, it's false count anywhere. I mean, Truth won the belt in the parking lot.
And honestly, I think Roman did I agree with you. I think Roman doesn't really care about the title. I think he speared Elias because he doesn't like Elias. He didn't do it to help R-Truth. I know they're friends, but he didn't do it to help him. He just did it because he wanted to spear Elias no matter what.
That's what I got out of it, at least.
And what's your opinion on these Alistair Black promos? Do you think with his promo skills are improving, but are good? But honestly, these promos remind me a little bit of Bray Wyatt's promos when he first came in as a cult leader type of thing. Random things that made no sense. Do you agree?
I do agree a little bit on their kind of random, and to me, they don't really resonate with me. Like half the time, I'm like, "What did he say?" All I ever get was, "Someone's gonna fade to black." Who? Wrestle somebody. Like, I don't know why they won't just let him wrestle. That's my thing.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying. I've talked to friends about this on like Facebook and stuff, and I'm like, with him, I'm not saying he's better than Steve Blackman and stuff like that, but his character relied on his in-ring skills and stuff like that to put him over. That's what they do. That's what they should do with Alistair Black. and
I
stuff
mean,
like
I
that.
think he should be wrestling. I mean, they got Ricochet out there on Raw wrestling every week, so why can't he be on SmackDown at least every other week wrestling? So, I mean, I don't like the promos. I mean, I can't say I hate the promos or don't like them. They're just not my cup of tea. They don't resonate with me, and I just don't see what
Is there
kind
a way, in your opinion, is there any way what's your ideas to improve the promos? What do you think?
I just think the promos
you
aren't
would
needed.
do?
I would rather see him wrestling. I don't need to see him because we've already seen him wrestle. It's not like he's brand new and he's just coming up from NXT and he hasn't had a match yet. If that was the case, kind of be a different, thought process on, okay, they're letting us know who his character is. But we've already seen him wrestling on the main roster. We've already seen him as a tag team with Ricochet. We already know how good he is in the ring. So then why aren't they showing us that? That's my thing. If he was a brand new guy, just cutting vignettes saying, this is who I am, learn about me, okay, that's one thing. But we don't need to when we've already seen him wrestle for 3 months, 2 months.
Do you think they're using this to try to build his character as well? I know we've seen him the past few months and stuff like that, but do you think WWE should have done that way before, like doing these type of weird, like, satanic promos that he's doing now?
I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for the call. I don't know if him doing these quote unquote satanic promos is any good. Anyways, you don't need that. You've already got Bray Wyatt, who's the creepy, crazy cult leader, satanic guy. You don't need two of them. So honestly, I don't think these promos are doing him any justice. I mean, this promo tonight was probably the best one, but that's just like saying that that's the best one out of a bunch that were no. I'm not saying they're no good, but just not needed. It was just like, how can I explain this? It's like, I don't even know a good analogy for this. It's that bad to me, at least. They're just people forgetting about him. Making people forget about him. Yeah, we see him on the show every week cutting this quick 1.5-minute promo. But why? Let him wrestle. I get maybe you don't have the time on the show, but you could fit him in every other week or every couple of weeks. But let's take another call. Calling in the air, what's going on?
Hey, Tim. What's going on, man? I haven't talked to you in a while.
How's it going?
Not much. For tonight's show, I thought it was all right. I definitely thought there was a lot better than Raw last night. So, I guess I had a couple of questions. First of all, I don't think they didn't do the Kevin Owens show tonight, didn't they?
No. Kevin Owens explained that, though. He said that he didn't think the people in Tulsa, Oklahoma deserved it.
Oh. Oh, yeah. I was blind, sorry. But also, I feel like, lately, WWE really hasn't really been in their play. Well, hold on, let me refresh it. Like, they haven't been, like, doing great lately with their storyline stuff. So I'm not sure, like, how do you think they could be able to, like, rebuild it back to where they usually be? But if I'm making any sense.
Honestly, that's probably the hardest question you could ask anybody right now. Like, what they need to do is refresh every storyline. Everything is, it's just like, you can maybe fix some of these storylines, but why bother? Just start over. Put everybody in new storylines and try harder. But at the same time, here's the thing. Vince McMahon would not put out a script, would not finalize a script that he didn't think was any good. So until Vince is gone, this could be what we get. Because, like I said, he's not going to finalize a script that he doesn't think is good. And if he's finalizing these scripts, he thinks it's good.
Yeah. It's just they're not in a good place right now. I mean, they haven't been in it for like a year or so now. So it really, really sucks for us as fans. But I have one more question for her because I don't want to go too long because I want to get other people in there. But like, how do you expect this 50-man over the top battle royal to expect at the Super Showdown?
Well, I hope they make a maybe not larger ring, but a more reinforced ring. Because who knows who's gonna? Who knows who's gonna be in this match? There could be a lot of smaller people. There could be a lot of bigger people. We don't know who they're gonna bring. They could bring people from NXT. They could bring people from NXT UK. They've got so many people. They can even bring people we haven't seen yet on television, either in NXT or whatnot. I mean, that's like last year they had Babatunde in the 50-man Royal Rumble, the Greatest Royal Rumble, and I don't think still haven't seen him on TV. He had just been working house shows. So I mean, as a battle royal, you would assume everybody starts in the ring at the same time. So they better have that ring like super reinforced with steel.
Yeah, because like the largest I've seen in WWE is like a 41-man battle royal, and I'm not sure if you remember. It's like I think it was like back when the episode when Smackdown became like the second longest running television program. I think they did like a 41 battle royal, and then the winner got to choose either the WWE or the World Championship the same night. So I think that was like the biggest battle royal I've seen in WWE. I'm not sure if you know, but like
I do expect probably a lot of people to get eliminated quickly. I could see a lot of quick eliminations just to clear out that ring. Like I could probably see at least a dozen eliminations in the first minute or two.
Exactly, because there's no way. 41 maybe, but 50.
One of the biggest issues is what if somebody goes to throw a punch, but they pull back to wind up that punch, and they elbow somebody else in the head or something? You're gonna be close quarters.
Right. Yeah. It's just. Yeah. It's gonna be weird seeing this, but hopefully it'll turn out okay. Nothing like catastrophic.
We'll see. We got about a week and a half till the show.
Something like that.
Yeah, week from Friday.
Next Friday. Yeah. All right. I guess that's pretty much all I got to say. I don't want to go too long with the viewers because I know something I want to call in too. So.
Not a problem.
All right, man. Thanks for taking my call. Hope you have a good night, man.
All right, you too. Thanks for the call and have a great night.
No problem.
All right. So looking at the text messages here, got a couple. First it says, Where's Buddy Murphy been? Backstage of Smackdown. He's been there, but they just haven't been using him. I don't know why. They drafted him in the Superstar Shakeup from 205 Live to Smackdown, and they never used him. I honestly don't know why. Caller on the air, what's going on?
Hey, Tim, how's it going?
Pretty good, yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. So the 50-man Battle Royal, what do you think winner will get? Because I think they'll probably just get like a trophy saying like, hey, I won the Battle Royal.
Probably nothing. You could give him a trophy, but we've seen with the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. We saw with last year's Greatest Royal Rumble, giving them something for the win. You see it for a week, and you never see it again.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because like with the WWE World Cup, the Greatest Royal Rumble, all they got was trophies. At least give them like a title opportunity or something.
Right. I don't know what. Last year Braun got a trophy and a belt, and then they took the belt away rather quickly.
Yeah, and also, did you hear at NXT Takeover Matt Riddle is taking on Roderick Strong?
Yeah, that match was announced last week.
Oh. Well, that's all I got to say.
All right. Well, thank you for the call, and have a great night.
You too.
All right. If anybody else does want to call in, you can do so at 559-475-8473. If you want to give me your thoughts but don't want to call into the show, you can do so at texting it in at 510-906-1341. So let's first in here 269 in the text message says, any updates on Ruby Riott? Yeah, we got an update from WWE last week. She underwent surgery on, I think it's her left shoulder. And once she heals from that, she will go and have another surgery on her right shoulder. I could have got them mixed up, but either way, she's going to have surgery on both shoulders eventually. And she's going to be out of action most likely for a significant amount of time. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Tim? It's Mr. New Jersey again, my man. We
How's it
had
going?
a beautiful conversation last week.
How's it
How you
going?
doing, my man?
I'm doing good. Yourself?
Oh, I'm great, man. Just here sitting back, enjoying myself, drinking some water, and, just listening to everything that you have to say, that the callers have to ask. And let me take the floor for a moment, my man.
Okay.
All right. So, first things first, I got to say that I really enjoyed Double or Nothing over the weekend. And, with that out of the way, let me just say this in regards to Monday Night Raw and the WWE product. Now, I understand that people like you, Tim, or people on Fightful who cover this, who basically it's, would it be right or would it be safe to say that this is, in essence, a living, yes?
Oh, pardon? A what?
Would it be safe to say that what people like you or Sean Rossap on Fightful, would it be safe to say that this is pretty much your living, yes?
Yes.
Covering wrestling and
Yes,
stuff?
this is my full-time only job.
Right, okay, which is cool. And I understand that. And by no means I don't want you to take this as me targeting you. So, getting that out of the way too, that way there aren't no misinterpretations to what I'm about to say here. So, with every passing Raw and every passing SmackDown, I hear people complaining. I hear fans complaining. People say this and people saying that. We want the shows to improve. And we're piggybacking on AEW. We're hoping on AEW to be that crutch that we hold on to and that prayer that answers our prayers in regards to please push AEW. Please push WWE to change. Where my whole stance on that is, yes, that's partially half of the equation. I think that's partially half of what is going to or what should inspire WWE to change their programming. But the other part of that equation is the fans. You want things to change, you have to hit Vince in the pockets. Okay?
Right.
Let's stop bitching, and excuse my language, let's stop bitching for once and take action, because this motherfucker, this old, decrepit, demented old fuck ain't going to change shit unless we have a say. Let's stop saying and let's start acting. Let's stop subscribing to the network. Stop buying his damn tickets to go to these shows, and stop, for the love of God, stop giving him the ratings and stop giving him this belief that he could give us a shit show just because we're going to sit there and watch. It's got to fucking stop if we want things to change. And I wish people could understand that. I get frustrated, Tim. You have no idea how much it frustrates me. And I have no sympathy for fans who go to these shows who chant AEW, who chant this is boring. Well, guess what? You paid the fucking ticket and you're giving the old fuck what he wants.
So can I ask you?
He turns around and he laughs at us.
Can I ask you two questions?
Go ahead, my friend.
When's the last time you went to a WWE show live that you paid for the ticket?
Whew! Oh, my Lord.
So it's been a while.
You want to know seriously what the last event I've been to?
Sure.
WrestleMania 20.
Okay. Here's my other question. Did you watch SmackDown tonight?
Absolutely not.
Did you watch Raw yesterday?
Absolutely not. And I don't even have a network subscription. I know what goes on because I watch you and I watch Sean Rossap.
Gotcha. That was going to be my next question is if you're not watching, how do you know what's going on? That was going to be my next question.
Right. No, but I know because I watch you guys.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
You know?
Makes sense.
Yeah. But that's my frustration. And listen, I don't mean to be harsh and I don't mean to come down on anybody, but it's time we do something. It's time we show that, yes, we do have power. We have power in what we do on Twitter, what we say on YouTube, what we post on Facebook, and also what we do in regards to affect and impact this show.
Right. I guess. No, I get what you're saying. and I guess I'm in the bubble of who you're talking to because I'm taking my kids to a WWE live event 2 days after the Saudi Arabia show.
No, Tim, like I said, man, I'm believe me, I understand your guys' position. You know, I know Sean and you and people like Meltzer who cover this. Yes, you guys depend on this, you know, and I thank you for that because honestly, I'd have no idea what's going on in WWE if not for people like you guys who cover all things wrestling. But I'm talking to everybody else. We have to take action, you know, and it just frustrates me. Like, yo, stop complaining. Be about it. It's that simple. Be about it.
I get exactly what you're trying to state. What I was saying is, like, you're saying that people shouldn't buy the tickets to go to the events. People shouldn't be watching the show on television. Well, I paid a couple $100s for 4 tickets to take my family in a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Right. You know, and again, listen, people are obviously going to do what they want to do, you know, and...
You know, to be honest, I will be 100% honest with you. I've gone to, I don't know how many live events, not television, I'm not counting television tapings, never had a bad time at a house show. Never had a bad time at a house show.
Okay, now I've also heard many people say, yo, the house shows are so much more popping than the actual tapings, Raw and SmackDown. What the hell? Why can't we get that shit on TV, bro?
Because Vince isn't scripting the house shows. They're literally setting up he knows the story. He puts the storylines together, so we know where we have to follow for match setup, and this match on this show, this match on this live event. But it's basically the guys aren't overly produced as far as being told what to do in their matches.
Right.
They can go out there and have fun and set the matches up themselves for the most part.
Now let me ask you this question, Tim. Going off of what you just said right there. When is the last time you've actually gone to a SmackDown or Raw show per se? Not live house show, but actually
I was at
SmackDown.
I can't remember. It was the SmackDown when Jericho's last SmackDown. Jericho's last. No, not his last SmackDown. His second to last SmackDown when Kevin Owens put the chair around his neck and pushed him into the turnbuckle on the outside of the ring.
Okay.
So that was the last tapings I went to.
Now, when matches are produced for Raw or let's just say just in general, what is the feeling of let's say when people pop for something happening on a Raw or SmackDown show versus the house shows that you've been to? Like, is the atmosphere different? Are people reacting different to what's happening in the ring, or if promos are cut at the house shows? Well, does it feel different?
You don't get many promos at the house shows. The house shows,
that's why I perceive it the way, because I know house shows are more
match,
in-ring, right?
I mean, sometimes a heel will come down, like Miz may come down and just, like when Miz was a heel, he would come out and be like, oh yeah, this city's bad, blah, 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 let's start my match. Like, you'd get one heel to rag on the city and that's about it. But I think the difference...
Right, or there'll be a short promo before a match, yes?
Sometimes, but not typically.
I've been to house shows during the Attitude Era, so that's the last house show I went.
See, the difference is, though, with television, if someone's told your match can only go 8 minutes... You have to try and stick to that as close as you can because you're constrained by television time. You have to hit the certain, times for the commercials and this and that. With a house show, the show's going to go X amount of time. The WWE says, okay, we've got the building for this long. If a match goes a little long, oh well. If a match goes shorter than they expected, okay. They don't have to hit specific times for TV. They don't have to be right done with the show at a certain time. If they go a little over, they go a little over. They have a little more leeway in what they can do on a house show compared to what they can do on television.
Right. So is it a louder audience when you've attended these house shows? Is it a more is it an audience that's into it and not sitting there like fucking zombies?
No, not here in Fresno per se. It really depends on the time, because I know because they usually come in June, July, and then again in October, November time.
Mhm.
And I've noticed that the June, July crowds are usually more into it than in the November, the October, November time. And it
Okay.
just depends on, sometimes the crowds are larger, sometimes the crowds are smaller. So, if it's a smaller crowd than you saw last time, yeah, it's not going to be as loud of cheers and chants and everything. So it's hard to say. It really depends on the time of year, at least around here it does.
Okay, and I have one last thing, Tim. Do you think that WWE could benefit from having factions? Because I am subscribed to NJPW World, so I do watch a lot of New Japan, and I'm enjoying the Best of the Super Juniors, by the way. I see how New Japan has Suzuki-gun and, factions like LIJ, Bullet Club, of
Right.
course, and all that. Do you think that maybe, and I don't mean as wide of a faction war situation as New Japan has, but maybe, let's just say maybe two factions. Could WWE maybe benefit from that more to pull in people to watch their product if executed correctly?
I mean, maybe, depending on how they're used. I mean, we do have a faction in NXT in the Undisputed Era, and they're used really well. But when you look at the main
I'm a
roster,
fan of NXT. I watch it because somebody, I'm like, hey, could you pass me your network sub? I do tune into NXT.
the thing is, with factions, if you have like Undisputed Era, a 5-man faction, then you're a little limited with those guys and what they can do because you have to keep them within their faction. If you've got just guys out there as singles wrestlers, you can put them anywhere you want, any day, any week. It's not like these guys can't go up against these guys because they're in a faction with these guys, or these guys, this faction's feuding with these guys. So you have to make sure that their stuff coincides with what their faction is actually doing. And with Vince McMahon changing things so often on the fly, I just don't see him being able to commit, because with factions, you have to know what that faction is doing and what that faction's storyline is. And if you've got one guy in a faction feuding with somebody, but then the other guys in the faction are helping with that feud, and then all of a sudden one of them veers off, it's kind of going to be like, well, why are they feuding with that guy now when they were just feuding with the, So I don't think with Vince's change things so often, it would really work.
Right, considering how Vince is changing the scripts and just on air, just saying, okay, we're changing this. Erase that and pencil that.
I mean, WWE put out a video a month ago showing, how their writers come together and write the show and everything. And they literally said, it's a joy when we see our stuff that we write on a Friday actually get used on a Monday, because it's so little that happens.
Wow. Holy shit.
Yeah. They're like,
they
said it's cool. I don't know if that's the exact verbiage they used, but they basically said,
kind of paraphrasing it.
When, they have their writing staff that goes on the road and the writing staff that stays back in Connecticut. And the Connecticut staff stated basically, it's cool when we watch Raw on Monday and the stuff we wrote on Friday when, their part of the writing is done actually gets used, because it doesn't get used that much because it's always getting changed day to day, hour by hour.
Right. Wow. Holy shit. Who would have? Oh my gosh. And one last thing before I go. Random question, since we're talking about factions. Back in the day stuff? So I'm gonna shoot you way back in the day. Did you like the Dangerous Alliance with Paulie Dangerous?
I didn't see much of it. It's kind of a little before my time. I have gone back and watched some of the stuff, but I haven't really immersed into their storylines and all that. But from what I've seen, I thought it was very interesting the way that they were all used together. But like I said, Like I said, it was before my time, so I know all the people that were in the Dangerous Alliance and some of the major stuff that they did. But I can't go and say, I know their whole storyline arc and all of this.
Okay. Hey, thank you so much, buddy, for taking my call, man. Always a blast listening to you.
Not a problem. Thanks for the call and have a great night.
All right, my man.
All right. Before we wrap it up, look at some more of these text messages here. This person says, what do you think of John Moxley taking on Joey Janela at Fyter Fest? So we'll be getting, it was announced just this evening that John Moxley's first match in All Elite Wrestling will be against Joey Janela at Fyter Fest. Tickets for Fyter Fest do go on sale tomorrow. I think it should be interesting. If they let these guys just go out there and have a Joey Janela, John Moxley kind of match, it's going to be a barn burner. It's going to be, I don't know, maybe they let him do a hardcore match. Maybe they let him do a street fight per se. It would be interesting. Last person here in the text says, what are your thoughts on AEW talking about being more sports feel than having the entertainment aspect on the show this fall on TNT? So basically, what we saw at Double or Nothing was one match ends, they clean up the ring, boom, next match starts. That's what they mean about real sports feel. It's like when you watch a UFC event. A fight ends, commentators comment really fast on their thoughts on as a whole on the match or on the fight. Video package for the next fight or match, whatever, however we're analogizing this, and then go right into it. You don't have wacky backstage segments. Now they're going to need to do some more backstage stuff than we did see at Double or Nothing once television goes to build storylines. But their main focus is kind of running this like a UFC event. You go introduce the show. Every match, almost every match, or at least every big match gets a video package. Once one match ends, you roll right into production for the next match. If it's got a video package, you go, announcers cue it up, boom, there you go, match. Match ends, right into the next one. And that's what they want to do as far as real sports feel. They don't need to finish a match and then you go backstage looking at some guys goofing around or just talking and whatnot. You don't got, you finish the match on Smackdown and then all of a sudden you shoot to the back and it's Shane McMahon and Elias back there. Man, that was so cool what we did last week. Let's, you're not going to see a lot of that. You may see some of that to help build storylines, but there's going to be less of that probably than what we see in WWE. So with that, I want to say thank you to everybody who did watch us live, and also thank you to everybody who watched us later. If you don't have a chance to watch this show live every Tuesday or Monday or Wednesday, whenever we are live, you can catch any of our podcasts right here on Pro Wrestling Unlimited's YouTube channel, our YouTube channel, or if you don't want to watch it on YouTube and you want audio versions, the show does become available on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher Radio, and iHeartRadio. If you want to follow us on social media, follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD, and follow us on Twitter at PW Unlimited. We'll be live again right around the same time tomorrow night. Nick and I will be here for the Wednesday show. We'll be talking our entire trip to Las Vegas for Starcast and Double or Nothing. We'll be giving our predictions for this weekend's NXT TakeOver 25 and talk about any other news that does come over the next day or so. So with that, have a great day. We'll talk to you later.